Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today we are finally starting a secret TBR reading blog. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I'm finally just doing it. So this video concept has been making its way around. A lot of people do this, so it's hard to say like who the originator was. I don't really know. I think just a lot of people have been doing them. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon because I really like the concept of them and I have a lot of ideas for them as well. So the whole thing is that I am going to pick a TBR that I'm going to keep completely secret. I'm not going to talk about them until this video goes up, and they differ from, different people do different types of videos like this. So my concept is that I want to do some sort of theme or some sort of topic and then read books based on that. So I have a lot of ideas. They're going to differ, from time to time. But for the first one, what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of take the concept of GoodReads average ratings, and I want to put that to the test. So what I'm decided to do is I want to see if I agree with my highest rated book. If I think one of my highest rated books is really, really good and I gave it a high rating, I want to do my lowest rated books and see if I gave that a low rating and I didn't like it. And then I want to take one that's right in the middle and see if I agree with that rating as well. Like kind of in the middle, it was okay, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, all that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pick 3 books today. I'm going to pick my highest rated book, I'm going to pick my lowest rated book, and I'm going to pick one that's right in the middle. Now, I don't know what those are yet. I have not looked. We're going to look together. But from past experience and looking up average ratings, especially my highest rated books, sometimes they are books that are in the middle of series that I'm not ready to read yet. They are books in the middle of fantasy overarching worlds, and I'm not to that series yet, so I'm not ready to read that yet either. And then some are either standalones or I'm ready to read those. So my expectation is that my highest rated is going to be the first in a fantasy series. That's my expectation. I just don't know which fantasy series that's going to be. And I don't want to pick like the first book in a series where number 6 is my highest rated. I'm just going to read the first book because that's not the book that's the highest rated, if that makes any sense. So we're going to have to figure out the highest one. I think the lowest one might be a little bit more direct, and I think the one in the middle will probably be direct as well. So I'm excited to see, but we're going to go through my Goodreads together. We're going to sort by average rating, and we're going to see which 3 books I'm going to put to the test. Okay, so I have my highest rated up first. Now, as you can see, my highest rated book on my TBR is Never Seen by Shannon Messenger. That is in the middle of the Keeper of the Lost Cities, which I have not started yet. So I'm definitely not ready to read that one. And then the second one is Lodestar, which is also in there. Okay, so now we have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I do have that book, obviously, but I'm not ready to read it because I want to finish Mistborn first before I jump into Way of Kings. So that's part of an overarching kind of universe that I want to read this trilogy first and then get to Way of Kings. So I'm not ready for that. And then we have the Lux series. I'm on number 2. That's the next one I need to read. This is 3 and 4. So I'm not ready for that. More Keeper of the Lost Cities, Kingdom of Ash. I'm not there yet either. Clockwork Princess. I'm not there. The Wise Man's Fear, I'm not there. I haven't read the first one. Okay, so here we go. A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This is the first book in the Mark of the Lion series by her, and I think there's 2 of those from what I'm understanding. I don't know, we'll see. So A Voice in the Wind, Mark of the Lion, number 1. That is my highest rated book that I could definitely read. Like, I'm ready to read it. I can read it right now. That is also a very long book. So, yeah. All right. So, A Voice in the Wind. Now, this one is a Christian fiction book, Christian historical fiction. So this follows a young girl who is a slave, and I believe she is in love with an aristocrat, and this takes place in Rome. And I think she is clinging to her faith to try to survive during this time. So this one is long. It's just about 500 pages. It's like $4.97. And yeah, so this will be one that'll take me a little bit longer to get through, but it is my highest rated that I'm ready to read. So we are going to read it. Okay, so now let's pick the one in the middle. And for this one, I'm going to go with like a 3.5 because for me, that would be an average rating that I would feel like it was okay, instead of, like directly in the middle. Because if we go directly in the middle, we're going to look at 2.5, 3.0. And to me, that's a very low rating. I would consider that one of my lowest. So we're going to go 3.5, which I feel like is probably, just in the middle. It's fine. Nothing, to write home about, but it wasn't bad. So I think we're going to go with that rating there. So let's see what we have. Okay, so I'm going to try to get 3.5 exactly. So we're at 354. Okay, so here's one. Okay, so I have 3 options. So I have The Widow by Fiona Barton. I have The Fortune Teller by Daisy Goodwin, and I have Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. So 2 thrillers and a historical fiction. Since I already have historical fiction, I think I'm going to skip The Fortune Teller. So do I want to do The Luckiest Girl Alive, or do I want to do The Widow? The Widow was an Advent Book Exchange. That's one I believe that Lindsay sent me our first round. So I think I'm going to go with that one. All right, so The Widow by Fiona Barton, and this is actually the first in a series as well, which is interesting, but it is going to be like a detective mystery type of book. Okay, and now we are going to go with my lowest rated. So let's see what that is. The People We Hate at the Wedding by Grant Ginder, which was sitting right here because I pulled this for a TBR jar a while ago. So I picked it for most recent purchase because I had purchased this the most recently when I filmed that TBR jar pick. So, all right, this is my lowest rated book. Fantastic. Okay, so we have the lowest rated. We have the one that's kind of right in the middle, and then we have my highest rated. Now I'm going to take some time and read these. I'm going to vlog my experiences and what I think and see if I think that GoodReads average rating correlates with my personal views on the books. I think it's going to be an interesting experiment. Now, please keep in mind, I talked about the ratings as of right now. However, those can change on a daily basis depending on how many people are reading them and rating them. They always fluctuate. So as of right now, these are what they are. By the time this video goes up, there'll be something different probably. But yeah, so very excited to see what I think and come on the journey with me. Okay, guys, we are getting started. So I am going to go ahead and start with my lowest rated book, which is The People We Hate at the Wedding by Grant Ginder. And I wanted to do this one just to kind of get it done. And I'm nervous about it now because this was a complete cover buy for me. I just bought it because the cover's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. And it's kind of like, I like the title. It's kind of funny. So we'll see, but it's my lowest rated. And I did not do my research before I purchased it. I just got it. And this one has a 2.83 rating, and I just double checked and it's still that. And I also picked this out of my TBR jar for my most recent purchase that I did, I think, right before we left Florida. I picked this out for that. So 2 birds, 1 stone on this one. And we're going to go ahead and get started on this one. Now, I did download the audiobook because I have really been listening to a lot of audiobooks while I'm doing stuff in my house, like some busy work or crafty projects that I'm making time for right now. So that's a great way for me to listen to audiobooks because I'm doing mindless things, so I don't have to really concentrate, or think too much. I'm just doing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to this one on audio and see how it goes. But let's see what I think. Okay, guys, so I just finished The People We Hate at the Wedding, and I didn't hate this. I didn't hate it. It's probably something over the years I'll probably forget about it. It's a little bit forgettable, but it does follow a wedding that's taking place, and it is following different perspectives. So it's following the bride, the groom, and members of the bride's family, like her stepbrother, her stepsister, her mother. And there is a couple sections that follows her stepbrother's boyfriend as well. So you're getting a whole bunch of different perspectives on things. And the thing about this book is that this is full of unlikable characters. So if you don't like just people who are really bad and make really bad decisions, and don't really learn from those decisions, then you're probably not going to like this. And I have a feeling that's why, because all of these characters are really kind of terrible people, and they compare themselves to other people constantly. They judge people constantly. So, and they treat people badly, and then complain when they're treated badly. It's full of that. So there is that. But you're following all the events leading up to this wedding. Now, the reason I didn't hate it is because this book is actually kind of funny. It made me laugh quite a bit. I wrote down a couple of quotes that I thought were really funny. I laughed out loud in the grocery store one day. So it was kind of funny, but they are just really terrible people. They really just are. And yeah, not a lot of character growth in here either. They just kind of continue to be bad people. And then the other thing that I didn't love is that the wedding, it leads up to the wedding, but the wedding is not a scene in here. So that kind of bothered me a little bit too. I don't know. So it kind of left it a little bit open. I don't know what's going to be happening with this wedding, because there's questions. So yeah, I don't know. How do I feel about it? I think I'm gonna give it a 3-star. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. So it was kind of in the middle for me. So 3-star for my lowest rated on my TBR. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, guys, so we are gonna get started on the next book. So, I initially had thought maybe I was going to do lowest to highest, but I'm not ready to read The Widow yet, because I'm currently reading a detective mystery book on my Kindle, and I don't want to read another detective mystery book because I think that I could probably get them confused. So I'm going to finish the one on my Kindle first before I start The Widow. So because of that, I'm going to start on A Voice in the Wind first. Ooh, this one is so big. It's almost 500 pages. It's 497. So it's a big one, but I think I have a game plan for tackling it. There are 39 chapters in this book, and so I think I'm going to try to start and end my days with this one. So in the morning, read a chapter, and then when I get in bed, read a chapter. I think that's kind of going to be how I try to tackle it. Hopefully that can work. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to read it. This is my highest rated at a 4.56 that I could, highest rated that I was ready to read. That's not part of another series that I'm not ready to read yet. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Hey guys. Okay, so I have finished A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This was my highest rated on GoodReads. It has an average rating of 4.56. So it was my highest that I was ready to read. There were some that were higher, but they were part of series that I was not in a position to start reading yet. So, my thoughts. Okay. I really liked it a lot. I really, really liked the story. The characters were also very good. but something's keeping me from a 5-star. And I think there's a couple things. One, this is ginormous. It is huge. And this book is brutal throughout the entire thing. It's 500 pages of brutality. So it's a lot. So I think that was a little bit hard. It was necessary at the same time because, you know, this is like, we're talking about Romans and, you know, all that stuff, and they were brutal people. But reading 500 pages of it it takes a toll. This was a heartbreaking story. And I think the other thing that's kind of keeping me from a 5-star is that I'm not super anxious to read the rest of the series. Like, I don't know if I will or not, which is kind of surprising. I thought I would read this and then like want to, you know, read the other 2 books, but I don't know. Maybe one day I will. I'm actually going to hang on to this book, even though I'm not giving it a 5 stars. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm still going to hang on to it because it may be something I could revisit at some point. Or, you know, if I do want to continue with the series, you know, then I'll buy the second book. But, yeah, it was really just brutal. And, you know, you follow a character, this girl on the cover. Her name is Hadassah. She was a Jew and was captured by the Romans and enslaved. So she is working as a maid, basically, to a Roman girl who is terrible. And then as she's working for this family, she is falling in love with the girl's brother, who is a Roman and acts very Roman-y. And then you kind of see it comes out that she is, not only is she Jewish, she's also Christian, and that is like worse, you know, for them. So you see her really get persecuted, basically. And but you also see her rely on her faith and lean on God, which was good. But man, it was really hard to read. It was brutal. So yeah, I think the story was really good. The characters were really good. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not itching to keep going. And it took me a while to get through this. Yeah, it's 500 pages, but if I'm really super into something, I can read 500 pages, no problem. But this one took me a while, so it's a 4-star. Still really good. I can see why it's very, very highly rated. I can definitely see that. So I get it. But for me, it was a 4. Okay, guys, I am getting ready to start my last book for this one. So I'm going to be reading The Widow by Fiona Barton. This was the middle of the road on GoodReads. It has a GoodReads rating of 3.50, or at least it did when I started this vlog, which has been a few weeks. So I don't know if it's changed. If it has, probably not too much. But this one is kind of smack dab in the middle of what I would consider to be an average rating. So we are going to get started on this one. Now, this one follows a detective, and that's all I really know about it. And I know that she has a couple other ones with the same detective. I don't know if it's something you have to read in order. I've heard you don't. It's just the same detective in each one, but this is the first one. So I'm kind of a stickler about that. Sometimes I can read something in the middle, and then other times I don't. It's just, I don't know. I prefer to do it in order. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this one since I have it, right? And this one is 324 pages, so not too long. Hopefully it will be something I can kind of fly through and I really don't want to put down, is what I'm hoping. So we are going to get started and I will let you know what my thoughts are. Hey guys, okay, I just finished The Widow, and this one was the one that was right in the middle, like a 3.5, and I could see that. I gave it a 4. I really enjoyed this book. It did take me a little bit longer than I was hoping to finish it, but it was also like a really busy time for me. So I think there were some other factors in there, not the amount that I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy this. It kept me guessing. This definitely has some trigger warnings for pedophilia and stalking and like child endangerment, all that kind of stuff, because this does follow a child who gets abducted by a child predator, and you're following the aftermath of all that, and you're following different perspectives. So we follow a journalist, Kate, who is trying to report on all this. You're following an inspector who is, or a detective who is investigating it and trying to solve this problem, or not problem, but you know, like he's on the case. You're following the widow of the man who is accused of doing this, and you're following the mother of the little girl who was taken. And there's a couple other kind of perspectives thrown in there as well. So it was really interesting. Again, it kept me guessing, and you're kind of guessing almost to the end of what actually happened. You still have a few questions left unanswered at the end as well, which I don't mind a few of those, but it did tie up, like you kind of, you know what happened, but you still have some questions about some other things. But yeah, I really liked it. I really did. So it's a 4-star for me. I definitely want to read some more by Fiona Barton. I do have more. I know I have one on my Kindle by her. So I'll definitely be getting to that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So that was an interesting experiment, because we had my highest rated, which was A Voice in the Wind, and I gave that one 4 stars. We have my lowest rated, which was The People We Hate at the Wedding, and I gave that one 3 stars, I believe. And then this one was right in the middle, and I gave it 4 stars. So I don't know, like, you know, my highest one I gave a little bit lower than I was expecting to, and then the other 2 I gave higher than I was expecting to. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so can we trust GoodReads? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. I think, you know, with GoodReads, it's interesting because, you know, people can absolutely have a big majority of loving a book, and then I'll read it and I will not understand why everybody loved it so much. And then opposite, everybody hated a book, but I really enjoyed it. So I guess everyone has their own opinion, and different books affect different people in different ways. So, but that was kind of interesting. All right, that is going to be it for my vlog today. I hope you enjoyed it. It took me a while to do that, to read the books and to get everything done. But I really enjoyed doing that little secret TBR, and I have some plans for some other ones coming up here soon. So I'm hoping to have another one up in January. Fingers crossed that can happen. But yeah, okay, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys again very soon. Have a great day. Bye.